Jaya Radha Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Girivaradha जय नित्य पावन गौरा जय नित्य पावन गौरा जय जय श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ऑल गोष्ठ संगुल devotees. Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, text number 15. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवतम 4.4.15 4.4.15 यत्पादपद्मं महितां मनोलभिः महतां मनोलभिः यत्पादपद्मं महतां मनोलभिः मनोलभिः निवेश निषेवितुं ब्रह्मरसास् वार्तिभिः निषेवितं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः निषेवितं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः निषेवितं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः लोकस्य यद्वर्ष्यति चाशितो अति अति लोकस्य यद्विशति चाशितोऽर्तिनास् लोकस्य यद्वर्षति चाशितोऽर्तिनास् लोकस्य यद्वर्ष्यति चाशितोऽर्तिनास् लोकस्य यद्वर्षति चाशितोऽर्तिनास् तस्मै भवान् दुर्हति विश्वबन्धुवे तस्मै भवान् दुर्हते विश्वबन्धवे तस्मै भवान् दुर्ह्यति विश्वबान्धवे तस्मै भवान् दुर्ह्यते विश्वबान्धवे यत्पादपद्ममहितां मनोलिभिर् निवेशितुं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः निवेशितं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः लोकस्य यद्वर्ष्यति चाशितो अर्तिनास् लोकस्य यद्वर्ष्यति चाशितोऽर्तिनास् तस्मै भवान् दुर्ह्यति विश्वबन्धवे तस्मै भवान् दुर्ह्यति विश्वबन्धवे यत्पादपद्मं महतां मनोलिभिर् सेवितं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः निषेवतं ब्रह्मरसस्वार्तिभिः
Lokasya yadvarshati chashishorina.
Lokasya yadvarshati chashishorina.
Tasmai bhavan dushyati vishvabandhave.
Tasmai bhavan dushyati vishvabandhave. Okay. What for translation? Yat pada padmam. The lotus feet of whom? Mahatam. Of the highest personalities. Mana alibihi. By the peace of mind. Niveshitam. Sorry, nishevitam. Being engaged at. Brahma rasa. Of the transcendental bliss Brahmananda. Ashava artibihi. Seeking the nectar. Lokasya. Of the common man. Yat. Which. Varshyati. He fulfills. Cha. And. Ashishaya. Desires. Artina. Seeking. Tasmai. Towards him. Lord Shiva. Bhavan. You. Durhyanti. Durhyati. Are envious. Vishwabhandhave. Unto the friend of all living entities within the three worlds. Translation and purport by Sri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. You are envious of Lord Shiva, who is the friend of all living entities within the three worlds. For the common man, he fulfills all desires, and because of their engagement in thinking of his lotus feet. He also blesses higher personalities who are seeking after the Brahmananda, transcendental bliss. I repeat the translation. You are envious of Lord Shiva, who is the friend of all living entities within the three worlds. For the common man, he fulfills all desires, and because of their engagement in thinking of his lotus feet. He also blesses higher personalities who are seeking after Brahmananda, transcendental bliss. Purport. Ordinarily, there are two classes of men. One class who are grossly materialistic, want material prosperity, and their desires are fulfilled if they worship Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, being very quickly satisfy the material desires of the common man very quickly. Therefore, it is seen that ordinary men are very much apt to worship him. Next, those who are disgusted or frustrated with the materialistic way of life worship Lord Shiva to attain salvation, which entails freedom from the materialistic identification. One who understands that he is not the material body, but the spirit soul, is liberated from the ignorance. Lord Shiva also offers that facility. People generally practice religion for economic development, to get some money. For by getting money, they can satisfy their senses. But when they are frustrated, they want spiritual Brahmananda or merging into the supreme. These four principles of material life: religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, exist. And Lord Shiva is friend of both ordinary men and the man who is elevated in spiritual knowledge. Thus, it was not good for Daksha to create enmity towards him. Even Vaishnavas who are above the ordinary and are elevated men in this world also worship Lord Shiva as the greatest Vaishnava. Thus, he is a friend of everyone. The common men, the elevated men, and the devotees of the Lord. So, no need No one should disrespect it or create enmity with Lord Shiva. What's Lord Shiva? Okay. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vacharam pangam langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Sri Guru Andinataram Paramanandam vadam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Ancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. With the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas. So, this is a discussion, sorry, it is the situation where Mother Sati is trying to educate Daksha. So, even at this point of time, if Daksha would have got a little bit of realization and talked something favorably about Lord Shiva, he would have been saved. So, but the problem is envy. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, right? What is the source of envy? Envy is the source. Kama Yesha, Krodha Yesha, Rajoguna Samudro. Envy, lust. Lust is the source of envy. So, because of envy only, we actually have come into this material existence. So, but for one to be free from this envy, they should have the blessings of the great souls. See, the soul by its nature, Anandamaya Vyasa, always seeking pleasure. That is the essential nature of the soul. If you say fire, if you tell to fire, fire should not be hot, and water should not be liquidy. Means and salt should not be salty. Means it will lose its existence only. So the nature of the soul is Anandamayo Abhyasa, means always seeking pleasure. That is the nature of the soul. And what basic composition of the soul, Sat Chit Ananda. The characteristics of the soul. Sat means it is eternal, eternally seeking, eternal is eternal. Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda, full of bliss also. And the soul by its nature knows what is real pleasure and what is ignorance, what is mental pleasure. But out of its being covered by the illusory energy of the Lord, when the soul comes into this mental existence, Maya works on the soul in two ways, Avarnatmika and Prakshepatmika. It will cover, the Maya will cover up all the knowledge portion of the soul. And Prakshepatmika, it will actually push the soul away from the association of devotees or association from Krishna. So, due to which soul identify itself with the cover. How does Maya cover the soul? By using the subtle body, which comprises of mind, intelligence, and ego. So this mind will, mind is the like no immediate covering of the soul. Whatever the characteristics the soul has, mind will imbibe that. So that's why mind always seeks pleasure. And intelligence, it uses its intelligence to get the things done, and ego is what satisfies the illusion of thinking that I am the enjoyer. So as we said, there are there are two types of ego: real ego and false ego. Real ego is satisfied when Krishna is satisfied, but false ego is satisfied when our senses are satisfied. So the nature of the soul, due to its illusion, it is identifying with the ego and trying to satisfy itself. So that is called lust. And when the lust is not satisfied, it transforms into anger. And envy is the root cause of everything. So that's why, in one sense, Krishna uses the word envy in synonymous to the lust. Envy is the root cause of everything, but Krishna says lust is the root cause. Lust is the what is lust? What is the difference between lust and love? Uh, Love is pure. Yeah. No, actually, the words satisfying one's own senses is called lust, and satisfying Krishna's senses is called love. So when we try to satisfy our own senses, then it is called lust, and it is also called envy. So, but here, if you see in the case of Daksha, he is trying to satisfy his own ego by means of belittling the position of Lord Shiva. He wanted to perform the sacrifice without inviting Lord Shiva, so that he will be for example, anybody in the ordinary person, they wanted to perform sacrifice, they have to invite everybody, all the devatas and all. And Daksha wanted to set a trend. No, you don't have to invite Lord Shiva. You can invite whoever you want, and then you perform the yajna. So, but Mother Sati, out of compassion on his father, she came and she started giving this suggestions and what you call advice. So this tendency to enjoy element of Krishna is the one which is actually binding us to this material existence, life after life after life. Only by the mercy of great souls, only by the mercy of Krishna, only by the mercy of Guru, only by the mercy of sadhus, one can come to their senses. So, what is that name? Okay, I don't want to go to that. So that's why I was hearing this morning a class by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was quoting these words. Kamadinam katinata katita pati palita durnideshas means I'll read the word translation. Oh my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of my lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I ever desired to give up them. O my Lord, O head of Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened, and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires, and I now come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. Means Kamadina Kati Prabhu, what's this? Kamadinam Katina Kamadinam Katina Katida Palita Durni Deshas. Means it is so difficult. Dhurnidesha means these senses are dictating so much so that and it is so difficult to satisfy them. Even if we satisfy them, they are not satisfied for long. They'll keep on demanding more and more. So we have two options: either serve our senses or serve Krishna. Serving our senses means serving Maya, or serving our Krishna means engaging in devotional service. So only antidote for the lust is to engage in the service of Radha and Krishna. So that's why the Hare Krishna mantra in the purport of this verse, Prabhupada quotes this. By the way, this verse is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.2.35 or Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.16. So such a wonderful verse. Somebody who is under the influence of very strong conditioning like me, they have to daily go in front of Lord and beg Lord's mercy so that we can be taken out of this conditioning situation. How can we get out of this conditioning? How can we get out of this strong habit of satisfying our senses is only by the mercy of the Lord. So that's why when we pray like when the meaning of Hare Krishna mantra means Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So Radharani is the greatest of the devotees. Now we are going to celebrate Radhashtami also. So what is a devotee? Who is a devotee? Devotee is the one who knows how to satisfy Krishna, how to serve Krishna nicely. And Radharani is the greatest devotee. She knows how to satisfy, how to serve Krishna so nicely. So, like our material conditioning is whenever any man and women, or whenever a boy or girl come together, immediately we think that, oh, there is some lust involved. But a pure love, the epitome of pure love is involved here in the loving reciprocation between Radha and Krishna. So it is said that like spiritual master is a representative of Srimati Radha. It is said that we serve Radha's Krishna. Hare Krishna means Hare of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Oh Krishna, who is Radha's Krishna. Hare Hare means, and who is Radha? Krishna's Radha. We are begging them, oh Radha and Krishna, engage us. Rama means pleasure. Only pleasure in the entire material existence and entire creation is service to the Supreme Lord. Service can be done in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam. We can satisfy our senses completely by performing all these 9 process of devotion service. Nothing else is required. Just Shravanam, just hear about Krishna. Kirtanam, and glorify Krishna, chant holy name of Krishna, and preach to others to Krishna. That is comes under Kirtanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. When you do Shravanam and Kirtanam very well, it will lead to the next step of Smaranam. constantly remembrance of Smaranam is so strong in the great devotees. Here, Lord Shiva is always meditating on the Supreme Lord. His Smaranam is so strong that he is totally sometimes loses external consciousness itself. That's why when Daksha arrived, he was meditating on Krishna and he never cared who came and who didn't came. So, if you see the Indradimana Maharaj, Indradimana Maharaj was elephant in his previous life. Sorry, Gajendra was the Indradimana Maharaj in the previous life. Indradimana Maharaj becomes elephant in the next life. Why? Because when Agastya Muni comes, he thinks getting up and respecting more than getting up and respecting Agastya Muni, my sadhana means, like, for example, he was actually in the bhava stage. He was meditating on the Supreme Lord nicely. And he thought, like, if I get up, my meditation will break. And I can't, like, no, that is my desire, that I stay and then I focus. Let Agastya Muni came, will understand that now I'm meditating. But the problem is Agastya Muni came with 60,000 disciples. All his disciples came. And for one to disrespect a spiritual master uh, is a great sin, or any sadhu, especially in the presence of their subordinates. For example, if you want to give some suggestions or give some feedback to husband, it should not be done in front of wife. And if you want to give some feedback to some Mataji, that should not be given in front of husband or kids. So that is, I'm not saying that Agastya Muni is conditioned, is actually expecting respect from his disciples. I'm not saying that. It will worsen their pain, because the disciples always looked at the Agastya Muni as their guru. And in order to teach them the lesson, how not to behave, Agastya Muni had to curse Indradima Maharaj. Indradima Maharaj is thinking that meditating, satisfying the Supreme Lord is all in all. I don't have to satisfy anybody. So that's why he didn't get up. He didn't bother to get up and worship Agastya Muni. It is said that even if you are worshipping the deity of Krishna on the altar, if some great devotee comes, you can immediately stop the worship, go pay respects to him, and then come back and then resume your service. We previously described, right? Or the brother of Krishnadas, Kaviraj Goswami, doesn't respect what is his name? Miniketan Ramdas. So the Prabhupada quotes that now one can stop, even if some exalted devotee comes, one can stop deity worship. Like, for example, we follow very strict standards, right? Deities wake up has to be done, deities has to be offered this time, deities has to be replaced this time. That is there, that is good in terms of deity worship. But when an exalted devotee comes, you can stop deity worship, go pay respects, total respects to him, and then satisfy him first, and then come and resume your deity worship. So, like that, Indra Maharaj got thoughts. So, what was the, before coming to Indra Maharaj episode, we are discussing something like. So, yeah, Lord Shiva was intensely meditating on Krishna. But this principle of Lord Shiva getting up and respecting Daksha doesn't work here. Daksha might be a Vaishnava, but when compared to the exalted position of Lord Shiva, Daksha is nowhere. Lord Shiva is so exalted. So for a Vaishnava who is subordinate, to expect any respect from the superior Vaishnava is an offense. He always only seek their blessings. So, but if due to their, for their pleasure, if they give any respect, we can humbly, as a service to satisfy them, we can accept. But never should we expect any respect from senior devotees and Vaishnavas, and especially on the level of Shiksha Guru, like that. Okay. So here, like, but so that we are discussing about the ways of serving Krishna, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, and lead to Smaranam. Smaranam is the greatest service that will actually transcend it. Like if one reaches the position of Smaranam, means somebody who is actually constantly remembering Krishna without any break. Means like the Smaranam, that remembrance has to be so strong that no, that it can, like a person who reached that stage can disregard all the formalities. You know that verse is there, right? I don't want to take baths 3 times a day, Visandhya, all these formalities are required. I only meditate on Krishna, that is all enough for me. Mm. So, means Smaranam has such a potential. Means not only Smaranam, any process, any aspect of devotional service is fully potent in itself. One can perfect their life just by holding one of these 9 paths of devotional service, either by hearing, by chanting, or kirtanam, smaranam, archanam, doing deity worship. We are discussing, right? There are 564 angas of bhakti. Among the 64 angas of bhakti, 5 are main. Chanting the holy name, reading Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and then serving the Vaishnavas and reciting the holy place, and Sri Murti Seva is worshipping the deity form of Lord. So these are like, for example, any exam is there, 100 marks exam. The main weightage is here. You can with like 70-75%, you'll get all the score just by following these 5 processes. Rest depends on how much you can. Means you may or may not do the other things, but these are the more important, very, very crucial things. So all the seva process can be contracted by, or just reciting, or just chanting one holy name of Krishna. It means the chanting is so powerful. And next is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam takes us to the association of all the pure devotees. For example, Lord Shiva is there, Daksha is there, Mother Sati is there. We have to put ourselves in that position. We have to put ourselves in the position of Daksha to see that what kind of impurity that we have, and how we're treating the Vaishnavas, how we're treating the Vaishnavis. And then be careful not to commit the offenses. These personalities, whoever comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, they're all exalted personalities, even the demons also. They actually take up the position for us to teach the lessons, what to do and what not to do. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam, second verse says, Nigamakalpatavorgaritam phalam sukhamukadam brutadrava sammitam pibata bhagavatam prasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhavivavaka. Means it is the nectar of all the Vedic literatures, all the Upanishads. So it is the ripened fruits of, and first verse is, third verse says, so it is, yes, please. So it is said that verse says, second verse actually, that what I quoted is the third verse actually. Second verse says, Dharma projita kaitavadra paramo nirmasaranam satam Vedyam vasamatra vastu shivadam trapatrayoन्मूलनम् Srimad-Bhagavate Mahamuni-krute Kimva Parer Ishvara Sadyo Hruddavaruddhatyatra Krutivisu Srishvitakshanat. Means Srimad Bhagavatam is full of all the rasas. And it is given by Vyasadeva in his matured state. And what else you require for the God realization? This Srimad Bhagavatam itself is sufficient for God realization. So one should read Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. That's why Srila Prabhupada says daily Srimad Bhagavatam class. If you if you regularly do morning program, that itself is sufficient to succeed our future life. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the morning program we have Archanam, deity worship, and Shravanam and Kirtanam. Like we recite holy name and chant holy name, and regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And Guru Sevan means worshipping the spiritual master. Such a potency. The entire morning program, if regularly one does entire morning program without fail, that will automatically lead one to the success in their spiritual life. That's why if you see all the exalted devotees, all the senior devotees, all the sannyasis, all the temples throughout the world, even on the level of GBC, they stress very much on the morning program, strong morning program. Is basically Vishnu also very much stresses. If we just attend morning program, and that is very good. And Rayasham Prabhu also very particular about morning program. So, okay, because they have seen how the success, how a person who actually very regular to morning program is able to save himself from the onslaught of mental existence. If somebody who can come to Mangalarti and try to finish his rounds in the morning hours and then attend Guru Puja, Srimad Bhagavatam, what else they need? They are fully potent for the rest of their day. So then Shivanam, Kirtan, Smaranam, Archanam, the deity worship, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. All this has to be done in a very friendly disposition towards Krishna. It's not like in a grudging mentality. Oh Krishna, why I have to chant? What is this daily waking up for Mangalarti and chanting Krishna solely? So Sakyam is like we do out of like somebody who we love most. We'll be very happy to see them. We'll be very happy to glorify them, chant them. And Atma fully surrender all the activities. You surrender everything to in Krishna's for Krishna. So by performing all these 9 processes of devotion service, we save ourselves from the materialistic lust. So we beg during our chanting, not the words that I quoted also. So we beg Srimati Radharani, to beg Krishna to engage us in their loving devotion service. When we engage ourselves in that loving devotion service, we automatically are fully satisfied. We don't need anything else. That's why if you see, there are millions and somebody who earns millions and millions of dollars, yes, dissatisfied. They do drugs, they do, like sometimes they get frustrated and they commit suicide also because they find no happiness. But if you see a devotee, a brahmachari or any devotee, he is sitting simply, getting a little bit of prasadam, sitting simply in the one corner of the temple and he's fully satisfied. They don't need anything. And the sages who actually, even the devotees also, who actually does this process of devotion service, they become the source, they become the, they relieve the pains, they relieve the stress, or somebody who is actually lost in the middle existence, person who are frustrated in the middle world, they come to these spiritual exalted personalities. By their grace, they can actually relieve their anxieties. Somebody who has so much is coming to someone who has nothing. It proves the potency of the process of devotion service. When we actually perform devotion service so nicely, we don't need anything else. We don't need material wealth, we don't need name, fame, all those things not required. Only perform devotion service, you will be fully satisfied. That's what the scriptures also says. So when we pray to Krishna in this mood, when we actually engage ourselves in this way, and then try to progress in our devotional life, that will lead to the ultimate perfection. Not only for ourselves, somebody who is connected to us also. Because sadhu sangha means association of each other, association of devotees. Prabhupada says, right? Association of devotees is the most valuable things. What I try to give to all of you through these temples, through this by establishing ISKCON, worldwide movement, and by doing all these things, what is Prabhupada give is association of each other. We inspire each other. We come together and glorify Krishna. So that will make our lives more and more easier when we have each other in the time of need. Sometimes we may get lost, just like Bharat Maharaj. He was doing nicely, he was on the Baba level, but he just got lost. So Maya can attack us at any point of time. But when we have the association of devotees, automatically the devotees we will be cautious how we behave, what we do when we are in the association of devotees. But when we are away from the association of devotees, nobody is there to protect us. So that's why we should take this association with great grateful heart, with gratitude and grateful heart. And then we should that's how we can easily come out of all this conditioning, the lust and the envy. So that's what I can speak of. If anybody have any questions or comments, you can take. Yes. So, would you like to add anything? Yes, please.
It must be like it's really mentioned from the end. You just said that when you see the devotees, you become appreciative of them, and then you become grateful, and then you follow in the footsteps. So you also make them just have time about being grateful. So how do you always maintain this? Studying with that. So how do you always maintain this appreciative, not judgmental?
Appreciate. See, sometimes our appreciation can be shown, but sometimes we may not be able to show externally. But our appreciation for the devotees should be always present in internal. Even if sometimes we may not be able to show due to lack of time, due to lack of situations, like you may not be able to show, but our appreciation for the devotees, for their presence, for being with us, should be always be within our heart. So we should be very vigilant. What's going on in our mind? How are we thinking about other devotees? Are we taking them for granted? Are we taking like, oh, like this, he just came into the moment. I'm so senior. Or if some senior devotee is there, oh, this person always keeps saying something to me. Like that kind of. So if we have that kind of attitude towards the devotees, immediately we should correct on to them. We should go talk to them, because due to some misunderstanding, we may develop some kind of this easygoing mentality. So every devotee, even a child, in Krishna consciousness is very valuable. Their association is matters greatly to every one of us. So even if you are not able to show externally, internally you should have. But if you are developing some kind of negativity towards any Vaishnavas, try to maintain distance from them and try to not find fault with them. Finding fault is not our duty. It's only the duty of Shiksha Guru. Hmm? Krishna says, right? Apichetas durachara bhajate mam ananda dogs. Means even if a person has so much abominable durachara, his habits, but he's engaged in the service of Krishna. Don't you should sadhu. He is a sadhu. You should consider him as a saintly person. And this, and don't if you are not able to see the divine qualities in them, try to maintain distance from them and associate with us devotees whom you are very well connected, whom you can respect them. But at the same time, don't develop any negativity towards any Vaishnavas. Even sometimes some people blaspheme this devotee, that devotee. He is not ISKCON devotee. So that kind of attitude we should give up. Here, if you see the example of Daksha is a Vaishnava, and he is finding faults towards Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's is not a his Lord Shiva's way of worship, Lord Shiva's standards are much higher than that of Daksha's. But externally, Lord Shiva may appear, like with the ashes, all these skulls, all those things. So we never know how exalted any Vaishnava might be. Externally, they may see, oh, this is a loose devotee, he's doing so much of sense gratification, like that kind of external things we may develop. If you are not able to see any great qualities in them, we maintain distance and respectable distance. Our distance should be such that we maintain respect. See, like it is said that familiarity cannot be avoided. As soon as you go closer to any person, you immediately develop finding faults with that person. Oh, this person is like this. He doesn't do this. He doesn't chant nicely. He doesn't maintain standards. He doesn't like all this fault finding nature will jump in. So that's why if you have that attitude, maintain respectful distance. Like if you are at that distance, just respect them. And then that way you will save yourself, not them. Okay. We will say not, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about myself also. Maintain respectful distance. And try to hear their glories. If somebody is belittling any Vaishnava, this person like that, that devotee, he did like this, that is the poison that will pollute your heart, that will contaminate your heart so much so that it will take years of working on that, years of sadhana, years of one negative remark about any devotee will pollute our consciousness. So if somebody is doing that gossiping, try to avoid their association. Totally cut them off or beg them, please, like don't speak to me like this, all these things. I don't want to hear you because I can't help it. But you are on the level of Shiksha Guru, you can hear them and do it as a service to them. It is my service to this exalted Vaishnava, this Vaishnava, to help them to progress in their spiritual life. Only Shiksha Guru has the ability to do fault finding. Otherwise, you are doing fault finding means you are actually crossing our limit. So if we can develop that kind of, did I answer your question? Anything else? Hare Krishna. Online, anybody have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Babuji.
Just a minute. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, you mentioned that too much familiarity, you know, is not good, and also maintain the some distance,
Yes, Prabhu.
so
Respectful distance.
respectful distance.
Yeah.
Now, is it applicable for everyone, or to that's very natural, right? Like even family, like too much familiarity, but again, we should not judge. Instead of, like, we should observe, right? That is what I've heard. Instead of going into the judgmental mentality, then we'll try to find fault if we go closer. So sometime, because what happened, like, when we have a relationship, or good relationship, at that time only, like, you can develop a love, right? So that will happen only when you come closer.
So yeah, the thing is, Prabhu, like you are talking about the family setup, family environment. You are talking about
No,
the
no,
family.
I just gave example, like, again, with, say, devotees. So better to keep distance, so that we will not become more familiar with the devotee,
Yeah, yeah.
or better
Actually,
to.
it is said, right? Like it is said with respect to we should take the association of equals most of the time. 80, 60% of our association should be with the equals only, and 20% with senior devotees, and 20% with junior devotees. 20% with senior devotees to serve them. Okay, only to serve them what they need. How can I serve? That's it. And 20% with the juniors is appreciate them, and encourage them, not to find fault with them. So, but uh, what was your question, Prabhu?
So, Prabhuji, again, coming back, like, equal. So again, like, we are going back into the judgmental mentality.
So yeah,
That
you
we
will
are
say,
judging, like, who is equal to me, who is senior to me, and that also, like, we are judging all the time. So best is, like,
so
to
for
have
example,
definitely.
Prabhu, I will give one example here. In our setup, equal is somebody who feels himself equal to you. Means like who is comfortable with you, like somebody is comfortable with you, like you can find them. Equal means you have a nice rapport with them. It's not like somebody who is 5 years older, he cannot be my equal, or for somebody 5 years younger cannot be. What is your rapport with you? Like he is able to do service to you, and he is able to do service to me. Both of you are comfortable on that level. He is like considered to be equal on the spiritual level. Who is superior to us is somebody who has very high uh, Vaishnava qualities. Now, for example, Shukadeva Goswami is very exalted. He's only 16 years old when compared to Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj cannot consider age as a factor and say, "Oh, you are younger than me," like that. No, like especially with respect to devotees, it should be their renunciation, their detachment from Maya and attachment to Krishna. How much they are attached to Krishna, how much they are spiritually uh, focused and spiritually exalted, and how much they are detached from materialistic things. That simply we can observe. So that is a Madhyama devotee. Okay, that should be the nature. Okay, and seniors, we know, right? Like for example, Maharajas, Shiksha Gurus, they are senior devotees, and senior devotees who are actually uh, very has been in the moment for long, and uh, they they we can see the qualities from them, what kind of qualities they are displaying. Based on that, we have to maintain distance from them. If we go too close to them, we will be able to see find faults with them. For example, Maharaj comes. Sometimes Maharaj, they don't come for Mangalarti, and they chant in their rooms, in their private rooms only, and they don't display all those things. And we cannot put our barometer to see how advanced this Maharaj or this devotee is. They are we can clearly see, like the senior devotees, junior devotees. We can clear junior devotees means somebody who is actually just starting their spiritual life, and the equals are who you can actually correlate nicely. We can share and care each other. Those are equals. Did I answer your question, Prabhu? And
Yes, Prabhuji.
with
So,
respect to, like in that setup, with respect to, yes, we observe, but we should not find fault with none of them. We should actually, at the same time, if he's like somebody whom you care, and if that person is comfortable taking suggestion from you, feedback from you, or your friend or your family member, then only we do suggestions or corrections. That intimacy will be there on the equal level, on the level of equals. Okay. But on the level of when we approach senior devotees, we only accept guidance from them. We only accept corrections from them. We don't go and correct. No, Prabhu, you can do this like this, like this. But if they ask any suggestion, we can share our experiences. Okay. Is it clear, Prabhu?
sure, Prabhu. Yeah. Your point I'm trying to say is like sometime if we keep that, not to come closer. So at the end of the day, like, is a relationship. If there is a relationship and loving relationship is there, and the devotees will help you to grow further, right? Because that's
Yes,
the, like,
yes.
we need
As I told you, like
yes.
the relation between that you and the other person.
Right. So that relationship you can build only if you come closer and then have a good friendship. So then you learn from the other devotee, because at the end of the day, we all are in the hospital, and somebody's hand is broken, somebody's leg is broken, but all are in the hospital
Yeah.
and taking medicine, right?
Yes.
Someone is little bit less injury, other person has a more injury, but all are injured because we are in material world.
Yes.
So that friendship is very important, so that sometime that distance brings like keep devotees apart.
Yes, bro.
That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll end here. Is that it, bro? Anything else? Manipur, would you like to add anything more?
No, thank you so much, Rohit. Thank you very much. Nice class.
Mohan, bro. Okay, we'll end it here. Vandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Thank you very much.